2 years after I joined here, I found out that I had the prostate cancer, and I was just mentioning it out there that they found out, and one bloke said, that he'll be right, Les. He said, I had exactly the same, and we talked about symptoms and how they treated it.
When they were cleaning out, they threw me outside because of the breathing, because I've got asbestosis, and they keep throwing me out. Jimmy, get out, get out, get out. That's what you call care. And they're good at that, mate.
After the 1925s, coming down here was a big relief. I was involved in those fires the day that a couple of the villages down south went bad.
My husband has been going for, I think, 5 or 6 years now, and Appin Men's Shed was basically his saviour.
Wollondilly Community Men's Shed, which we call Wollcoms, was started, I think it was over 12 years ago, and it was started in a collaboration between council and interested men that were looking to get sheds off the ground.
How this all came about, how our shed came about, was we were at the Anzac Day, and that was about 2007, I think it was. We had a Anzac Day down at Picton, and a couple of the guys said, you know, oh gee, it'd be nice if we had a men's shed out here, and a small group of guys came together with the church, and the church had an old building which I'm standing in now, which was the old Yandera Uniting Church, and they offered it to us as a building to form a men's shed. Although we started off with a shed, then it was all the verandas and water tanks and what have you, because we work in conjunction with the community garden, so they needed a lot of things done. They didn't have the manpower to do it, so the men's shed came on board and we were able to provide the manpower. Anybody can join the shed. You don't have to have skills to join the shed. The shed is open to anybody. It's entirely up to you, what you want to do when you come to the shed. We are very strict on safety. If somebody wants to come and learn how to use the machinery, you would be buddied up with somebody that can use that piece of equipment, and you would be shown the skills of using that equipment. The guys that come here not only come to the men's shed to use the equipment, but they come here for the social side of it, and we emphasise that's what the men's shed is all about. It's all about social, it's all about men's health. A lot of guys have lost their partners, so they look for somewhere to come and socialise with other men. So that's where we play a part. What we have here is a variety of nesting boxes. This is for microbats, which are very, very small. Microbats are not much bigger than your thumbnail. They go in here and they actually stay in there overnight. So we do carry a variety of boxes in stock at any one time. Tums have their own site, and we put these up on the site and tell people that they're for sale. And we sell them at our market, at a monthly market, on our own stall. The men's shed has a stall.
One of the things we do here in the shed is we make up many boomerangs. These go to various craft groups where they're given to children and they paint them up as boomerangs. There's 300 boomerangs in the box there waiting to go out.
Right, this is what we call a Kenyan hive. It's a little bit different to the standard hive that most beekeepers use. But we're making these up for a lady who's an apiarist, and she asked us would we make them, and she had a few drawings, and we've just gone ahead and we've designed this as to the drawings that she supplied us with. The mental health is one of the biggest issues that is a problem to men today. I think men's sheds play a very, very vital role in providing somewhere for men to come, socialise, and give them some sense of purpose.
Well, what I found when I joined up here, it was just good to have a lot more friends. You come up here, you talk to the blokes, do a little bit of work, you know, and it just makes it more fulfilling in your life as you're getting older.
As well as providing for the needs of the older chaps of the community, we do a lot of recycling. We make items out of mostly wood and sometimes metal that would otherwise be thrown away. So we've got a stack of donated timber. We can use it to fix items of furniture, even doors over here and that sort of thing. We can cut it all down, and I've made some tables and chairs for little grandkids and that sort of thing, which we then sell off. We also, from time to time, have people just turn up with an item and say, look, can you fix it? One fellow came down and he had a broken handle of a shovel in one hand and the rest of the shovel. He'd bought a new handle for it, but he didn't know how to put it in. About a quarter of an hour later, one of our blokes here, Rudy, he'd taken the old bit out, put the new bit in, and the bloke was really pleased and that sort of thing. Oh, how much is it going to cost? And we said, oh, just a donation thing. Oh, even last week, a lady put on Facebook, she was trying to find how to contact us, and she actually wanted something made out of some MDF, and we were able to use the good tools we have here to cut them out from stencils and that sort of thing for us.
But we do some Islamic burial chambers. They're like really big wooden boxes. They don't have a bottom in them. Well, a sort of like an informal contract, but we've got with Catholic Cemeteries Trust. They supply all the timber. They supply all the material, not just the timber. And then we cut it all up to size and put them all together. And we do 10 sometimes it was once a month, sometimes every 2 months. And that's really helped our financial aspect in the shed, you know, giving us that good income coming in all the time, you know.
The way that the Wollondilly men's sheds have moved now is more towards community work. They've given that safe space for people to, you know, catch up, connect, and just like I said, build that support network and have those people to lean on who are going through similar things. I think it's really important what they're doing and the work they're doing now, not just as a men's shed, but within the community.
About 2 years after I joined here, I found out that I had the prostate cancer, and I was just mentioning it out there that they found out, and one bloke said, oh, he'll be right, Les. He said, I had exactly the same. And we talked about symptoms and how they treated it. So I found that support and being able to talk about problems here, which you do about all sorts of problems. You know, I just found that's just so good. It's so good. And I would recommend it to anyone.
Academy Men's Shed's a community-based, not-for-profit organisation. They originally started in the old tennis club next door to here. They were there for quite some time, then they extended the tennis club and then ultimately managed to raise enough funds to actually have this shed put up some 3 years ago. Since then, it's been an extremely successful venue. We're essentially here priority for the mental health of the members. Anything we do associated with that and the workshops, etc., is just to keep the mind going, keep the skills up. But I always reckon that the table down the end where we all sit and talk is the business section of the shed, where all the work's done and the schemes are thought up and people just sit and listen and talk. And the workshop area is the entertainment section, where people bumble through what they do, lose things and go crook. But basically we have a great time. Yes, we've got a few people that have tried new things. One of the chaps here had just taken on lead lighting. He'd want to have a go at that. He hadn't tried that before. Essentially, we raise funds through Bunnings barbecues, through little projects that we take on that don't require deadlines. We do also hold stalls where we sell gear up here at the local markets, products we make in here in the way of breadboards, etc. And we're currently making a range of toys. The South 32 Memorial to the mine disaster, and try and maintain the area. We do quite a bit of planting and mowing and a bit of gardening if you're that way inclined. We made all these seats for the structure. There's several members of this shed that'll swear black and blue that the shed saved their life, that they were spiralling down on prescription medication or just lonely, or partners have died off, or just at a loose end after work and not knowing what to get into. We've also had 3 or 4 success cases where people have come back from long-term workers' comp and trying to get back into the workforce. And, sort of learnt to socialise again and get into a few projects, and wasn't long after that they'd have a job. The wives of the men that come here have started their own group, a friendship group, which meet on a shed day, the main Wednesday, up in the Historical Society up the road, where they can sit and talk and basically have the same camaraderie.
So I'm Jan. My husband and I lived on the far north coast, and my husband had a stroke. So we moved down close to our son in Appin. My husband was very isolated because of his stroke. He couldn't hear. As a result, he became a bit of a recluse. He's never been one to talk much about himself either, so it became very difficult for us. So when we moved down here, he heard about the men's shed and decided to go. Well, Ross has always been a gardener. In the shed he can't hear, so he tends to be outside a lot anyway. And it's been really good for him. He's made some really good friendships with some of the men, and it's an interest that he loves with his garden. He's very proud of the garden he's creating around the shed. And from a mental health point of view, which is really what men's shed's all about, but also from a very physical point of view, they're very active. Yeah, I think it's a great thing, I really do. Yeah, and from a wife's point of view, I've met some lovely other wives. And so from my point of view, being new to a town, it's been great for us as well. Otherwise, older people that move to a new town, if there's no outlet for them, it's very difficult.
I'm Linda, my husband's Mick, and he's probably one of the younger ones at the men's shed, and he just likes to teach people, mentor people, and if anyone needs to know, wants to know, learn how to do something. So he's happy to show them how to do work on the wood lathes, metal lathes. He used to have wood lathes and metal lathes himself, so he knows how to use them. CNC machines, and he used to just go on a Wednesday morning. Now he goes on the Friday, now he goes on a Saturday if he's got something going, and he likes to project manage as well. So
I'm Karen, and my husband has been going for I think 5 or 6 years now, after he was forcefully retired. He did not cope with it at all, and Appin Men's Shed was basically his saviour. The men's shed opened up so many possibilities for him, and they've been working on different projects around the place, you know, outside of the men's shed. So it's been a win-win for him for sure.
I think with the projects that they do quite a few community projects of doing up windows and doors of historical buildings and things like that. It's just a great interest.
Yes, those men have worked all their lives and they've been industrious all their lives, and you know it's really hard to just stop.
Yes.
Yes. And then when they stop work, they're a nothing. And it's good in that way that then they become something again because they can come into the shed.
Absolutely.
Self-esteem
come
is
into
amazing.
the shed. And they can be part of a group again, part of a team where they
that they're worthy.
Yeah,
they're not just thrown on the dump.
Well, more than that, they're actually helping others because they're all teaching each other skills, which is brilliant.
Yes.
One in 4 Australian adults identify as being lonely or isolated. We know that the Wollondilly population, about 9% of that is on the outer fringes of our Wollondilly Shire, and those people are highly isolated. We know that the effects that can have on people. It's increased risk of depression, diabetes, poor self-care, self-harm, and even suicide rates. The beauty of the men's sheds are that it gathers these people together. They can connect with other local men with similar interest who possibly are lonely and isolated too, and it creates that connection, that social network.
This shed was established back in 2012 by our local Rotary Club with support from the council and from the Workers Club where we're located here. I think there's about 12 or 13 members here. Older men tend to go into recluse, and this is just a way of helping them keep into, I suppose, a bit of a social atmosphere. It fills a gap and gets them out, which was what the original plan was when we took it on as a Rotary project as well. They can have a talk with people their own age and are in probably the same position as what they are. We've got a new subdivision down the road here, and we hopefully plan to maybe attract a few of the more senior members out of that group. But for the time being, the ones that are here are enjoying the environment and each other's company, tell plenty of yarns, and it's doing the job that was designed for.
Natural ability. Yeah, sure. When I was working for Brambles. I'm a long-term resident of Oakdale. I've lived here all my life. Went to the local school. My kids all grew up, went to the local school, and I've been involved in the men's shed because I think it's a good thing to have in the community. Keeps men involved, particularly when they're retired and they're not at home annoying their wife all day. It's a meeting place, a place where you can get out, meet with people with similar interests. Gives you an opportunity to discuss various aspects of life, whether they be health, medical or social. I found it to be a really good meeting point.
I came in and we had the AGM, I suggested about raising money through making different objects to sell, and the membership sort of voted me down there and said that they were just happy to come and have a cup of coffee and what have you.
Most of the chaps that are here are happy just to come along. They'll sit down, they'll have a cup of tea, cup of coffee, discuss the current affairs, work out how they can solve the world's problems, but it doesn't always happen. But it's a good opportunity, a good place to come to, and men are always welcome.
They're a big help, you'll see. We've been here since 2018. We kicked off with a bit of a meeting and an idea, and this is where we are. We now have a membership of 18 people. We've been here for the 4 years, and a lot of that time has just been taken trying to sort things out. We've been able to get a few grants from various government departments and councils and one thing and another, and has allowed us to purchase some machines and make a workable shed out of it. We've been donated a lot of stuff. It's a process of going through it all, and it all takes time, you know.
Basically, I came down here to have a little play and do something different. My career, as it was metal work and electrical work, and down here I play more with woodwork than I do anything else, which is really cool. Totally different, of course. Not so much in the planning, but in how you treat the materials. It's good fun. You know, guys are all down here. When you sit around and talk, there is a tremendous background of Australiana in different things guys have done through their lives. Plus, when you're doing a job like even building something like a bench seat, the different ideas and experiences come in, and you build something that's viable. Like the one behind me, a fair way back, but the one behind us, we're actually giving that to a retirement village, and it's taken a few months to build, but it's a really nice piece of product. Our skills are improving in that sense as we work along. Yeah, it's good fun.
We've been building some planter boxes, and we've got a project coming up that we're going to build some bird boxes and animal boxes. Some come down to the shed to do a bit of work, and others just come down for a cuppa and a chat, which is what the idea of the shed's all about.
All the guys tend to take the mickey out of each other, which brings humour to it. No one takes it seriously. It's good, enjoyable fun for guys to get together and have a giggle. After the 1925s, coming down here was a big relief. I was involved in those fires the day that a couple of the villages down south went bad, and they knock you around a little bit, but coming up here was a great relief. We were able to relax, you have a chat about it, and the more you chat about it, the less it impacts you. It's good in that sense, that you can actually come up here and have a chat. No one judges you. And I think it's more just the fact that you talk about what happened and where you were and what went wrong, and the feelings you had during that time. It just opens it up for you, and you can get over it. It was ugly. But yeah, the mental health side of it up here is brilliant. But yeah, I think it helps everybody.
In 2019, in February, we had a meeting at the Bargo Sports Club to gauge the interest of a men's shed in Bargo. At that original meeting, 50 people turned up. So as obviously there was interest and a need, so we went from there. We're in a small town. There's not much available for men in Bargo. You've got a pub and you've got a club, not always ideal. I approached the owner of this building. It had been abandoned for about 5 years, about leasing it, and we currently have a lease on this building. Because the building was built in the early 1900s, there was no plans of the building at all, so we had the building replanned. There's been an access plan, so wheelchairs will be able to get to every room in the building. Disabled people will have facilities. Basically want to make it a place that is available to all men in Bargo. So what we're going to do is put 110 mil of concrete over the existing slab, which will remove all the trip hazards, and also put a ramp up that will get us into the front room of the building. We're putting in 2 new toilets and a new kitchenette. That'll all be with railing and everything, wheelchair access.
We've got Nathaniel Spiff here today, our local state member. Nathaniel helped us out a lot getting us a Premier's grant. Without Nathaniel's support, this floor wouldn't be here and the men's shed wouldn't be moving along how it is. And I'd just like to thank you, Nathaniel.
Not a problem.
Yeah, after a few months of delays like everybody's had with the weather, we've finally got our concrete in. As you can see, the place is looking good. We've got our ramp in for disabled access into the front of the building. We've put in a door between the front showroom and the middle workshop. So once the walls are painted, we can start laying out equipment for the future, making sure it's all installed correctly and putting safety procedures in place.
One of the things that I think we've done at Bargo very well is live up to our motto, building mateship and support. We've got a welfare officer in place, we've got social interaction, we provide transport if people have got somebody in hospital. It is a social network of support and friendship. It's gone from mateship to friendship with a lot of these guys. It's really good. It's a good project that's really paying dividends in the local community. We've been running our coffee club up at Bargo Sports Club on a Friday.
One day Jimmy hooked up to me and says, "Where are you going?" I said, "Going up to the club to have a coffee." He said, I don't drink coffee. He said, "Come up and have a coffee with me." So, and then it just grew from there and there and there. There's usually probably maybe 14, 16 here every week. It's just a thing that we get together. All of us become very close.
We get up here and have a chat and talk about different things, not the shed, but sometimes, and you open up, which I just did. I was talking to Gary and talking about something personal, and he hears it with open ears and no judgment or anything.
Can I swear? We just put shit on each other. And I think we're all professional at doing that one way or another.
And that's all in good fun. None of us take it too seriously and we just enjoy each other's company. I think it's really important.
We've been having barbecues. We had Christmas in July. We've had the Blokes morning teas.
Bargo Men's Shed, Dave and the fellas over there, they helped us build this garden, or the community garden here at Bonnie Cottage. They built a new greenhouse for us. They came, spent a day or two here and rebuilt all the garden beds and secured them so they will last.
We're about supporting the local community. In the past, we've worked at the community garden, the Greyhound Rescue, Bargo School, Balmoral Fire Recovery, and we see this as a base to get out and do some community work as well. We want this shed to be part of Bargo and the local community, just not closed in four walls. It's going to be in the community.
So what we know is that Wollondilly is sitting in a significant growth area. We know that over the next 10 or 20 years, we're going to double in size. That's a population growth of up to or over 100,000 people. And we know that that will also increase the amount of older people that we have living in our shire, which is why it's so important that we continue to support our current men's sheds and we look at opportunities for other men's sheds if they so wish to get off the ground.
I see what all the sheds are doing and the impacts they're having on our community, not just in the sheds but externally too. They're doing more stuff for the community projects. They're getting awareness out there about men's health, men's mental health.
We all come from different walks, different ways of living. Men's sheds are the greatest thing. It's the best thing that's ever happened to this area.
A large significant reason for this is mental health, and I think it makes a difference. I really seriously think it helps people manage their own situation, whatever that is, and we're all different. We all have different needs, but this is one little place that we can get together and we all meet the same criteria. We just have a good time.
I joined the Bargo men's shed thinking it'd be a good idea, and it's grown to the fact that I look forward to going there Tuesdays and the second Saturday of the month. I look forward to it. A good bunch of blokes. We talk openly about anything. You only got to say you need to do something or need a hand, and they're there for you, which to me that's good mates, and nothing's too hard for them. I appreciate being a member. I'm also the oldest, so it's all a good thing.
Well, being a part of the Bargo men's shed, there should be more people join, I think, because it is a good thing. It's a good encouragement for a lot of people, and I think more people should get involved. Maybe because they don't realise what really goes on. And of course, because I can't breathe, I go there on a Tuesday, and when they were cleaning out, they throw me outside because the breathing, because I've got asbestosis, and they keep throwing me out. Jimmy, get out, get out, get out. That's what you call care. And they're good at that, mate. Not everybody goes along there to work, because some of them can't. But they go there and have a good chat, and have a cup of tea, have a good chat and spend a few hours. And it's a good thing. Anyway, I think.
I love that they all have a different personality.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and they're all really skilled at different things. We know Tamil makes bat boxes and supports, wildlife. We've got Bargo, who does some great community projects.
And big social
outings.
Yeah.
We've got our smaller sheds like Menangle and the Oakdale, which have a real focus on just really connecting and having a cuppa. We've got a mammoth shed out in Appin that have all of these different spaces and all of these different age groups. We've got Warradale Men's Shed, quite an isolated community. They were so crafty during the COVID pandemic. They were making Islamic burial boxes, and they've really made a name for themselves in being able to provide support to their local men during a ridiculous time of need in the pandemic, but also earning some income for their men's sheds. I just love that their personality shines through in each shed.
Yeah.